Hey friends. Um I was thinking about something earlier, and it's in regards to evangelism and sharing the good news about who Jesus is. Especially during this time of the year, people have been taught and trained to, you know, this is when you run out there and you tell everybody, which is great. But one tip, I think, or maybe a couple tips that I think we, as people who say we love the Lord, who say we follow Him, should implement. Something that people learn usually in the business world, which is body language and ways of communication, styles of communication, paying attention to someone's response to what you are sharing, and even your approach when you first greet a person. When you greet them, and your tone of voice, yourself, you as yourself, you're an individual, but sometimes we are taught to be very aggressive, I'll say. That's a good word, I think, to towards other persons, when we're trying to share something. Even just basic information, sometimes it can be very off-putting. So practice in the mirror. Even practice with a friend. Practice with a friend. Practice with one of your coworkers and say, hey, can I practice something with you real quick? Maybe not coworkers, because maybe at your job you can't do stuff like this. But if you can, that's great. Practice with a neighbor. Maybe that might be better. Practice with a neighbor, someone you know, and ask them for feedback. Hey, you know, how was that? How did that feel? Ask them some questions. Do a quick survey, just a quick one. And you should have a quick one, because I was taught you need to have an elevator, type of, and I don't want to say a speech, because it shouldn't be a speech, but something prepared, pre-prepared to say about your testimony. How did you come to the Lord? How did you know that this is where you should be going? And it shouldn't sound robotic, don't sound robotic like, hey, this is Jesus. And no, calm down. Um, and, this also comes with the Holy Spirit will give you what you should say. I have a kind of a pre-prepared thing that I say sometimes, but usually I kind of let things flow when I meet someone. Um, Something I was taught about, like when you're on street ministry, you know, approach people genuinely, not extra, not too much, just genuinely, like, hey, hi, how are you? Can I, you know, can I talk to you for a minute? Um, And of course, sometimes, depending on where you live, some people are moving really fast. They're on their way shopping right now, today. And not just today, but I mean, in this time, this season, a lot of people are going shopping. A lot of people are, some people are on their way to work. Um, some people are on their way to visit someone. Some people are on their way to appointments. Like they're on their way to do a lot of different things. So because of that, you want an awareness of, hey, mindfulness. Do they have time to spare to talk to you for a minute? Most people don't even want to talk to people nowadays like that. Just on a general, there's not a lot of people that just want to stop and talk to you. What are you doing? Like, you trying to sell me something? Um, at least that's how I am sometimes. I completely ignore people sometimes. I'm like that. So you think about, okay, well, how would I want somebody to approach me? Something we used to do, me and some friends, we used to be like, hey, hi, can I pray? Can I pray for you? Do you have any prayer requests? Sometimes you get no, sometimes you get yes. Easy way to get in. Other one that you can use. Um, hey, uh, can I tell you about who Jesus is? Do you know who Jesus is? You know, things like that. Simple ones. Sometimes people want to do like a special gimmick. Some people do. You know, you may have a gimmick. You may have a shirt that you're wearing. Um, and you just, you know, somebody may stop you. That's one way to do it. You know, there's a lot of different Christian based companies that have, you know, trucker hats and sweatshirts and sweaters and, you know, bracelets. And, you know, back in the day, we used to have the bracelet, which some people still have actually. I don't have mine anymore, but it was called WWJD. What would Jesus do? And people would wear it, but it's like, they didn't actually do what Jesus would do, which is funny. But it's like, yeah, those kind of things, you know, what would he do? What would he do? How would he approach people? And he usually approached people very organically. He just kind of let it happen. Now, of course, he had the foreknowledge of knowing what each person needed, but he was very strategic with who he spoke to. He said he went for the sinners. Do you even try and go to sinners, or are you trying to go to people that actually already have their walk with the Lord? They're already set. And that's great to talk to people like that too. But are you taking yourself out of your comfort zone? You know, check with your neighbors. You don't know. Maybe go to the neighborhood where you usually probably would not want to go to. And if you are going to a neighborhood like that you're not used to, you need to at least have 2 to 3 people just for, you know, your own backup and accountability. So that way you're not just kind of out there. However, and especially if it's your first time, you don't want to just be out there like that, because you may not know how to handle certain situations. Everyone does not know how to, you know, speak to people who are in a different situation than they're in. And so these are some things to consider when you do go out, if you choose to go out during this season, or anytime, actually, anytime you choose to. I had the great opportunities to be able to minister with people who knew a lot more than me. One of my godmoms, like, she's really great at doing this. One of her daughters too. Actually, both of her daughters, they were so good at this. But that's because they've been doing it since they was little kids. I wasn't doing that. But my mom always talked to people. So I learned how to do small talk from her. So that's my thing. Like, I just know how to do that. I'm very adept to doing that. Other people are not great at small talk, so that's not their thing. I used to also be part of a small group years ago where, you know, they taught us, one of the ladies called it warm chattering. If you know, you know. But yeah, it's like, that's one other thing, you know. So I knew, it's another way of small talking. We would do it at stores and just anywhere you would go. And they told us, okay, well, wear your shirt, you know, and it had bling on it. So it's just like, it's an attractive, you know, eye-catching thing. People will grab your attention first before you grab theirs. Or you'll grab their attention first, rather. Yeah. But anyway, those are some things just to consider. And then also to, in communication, listen to what the other person is saying. Learn to read if a person is uncomfortable, they are paying attention to many other things. They're just like, I'm not really in the mood to really do this. Maybe there's something else on their mind. Sorry, it's loud outside. But yeah, it's like, maybe there's something else on their mind that they're really dealing with. Something's weighing heavy on them. Sometimes they just need somebody to, you know, pay attention. It's just like, hey, you know, are you safe? And some people may not tell you if they're in a safe situation or not. Some people are not in a safe situation and they're not willing to talk about it. And that's okay. But you can offer, say, hey, you know, do you need some resources? You know, that's something else. That is giving to someone in this time and season. There's a lot of people that don't know what resources they need and what is available to them. You can offer yourself or other things that you know in your community. If you're not aware, That's something else you need to do before you go out. Check around and see what are some resources that people in your community may need. What are the needs of your community? Because that is also serving the Lord. You can give resource like, hey, I know about this group, this company, this nonprofit, this whatever place where you can be safe. If you need to be safe, if you need to get away, if you need to get some, you need to be able to talk to someone. There's call lines and, just food, or maybe not food, but they need, usually a place to stay right now because it's cold outside. They need a place that is safe. There are children that are out here too who need safety. So it's just, like I said, there's some things to pay attention to in your community. These are just some tips, and I hope that you stay safe out there if you choose to go out. And if you do not choose to go out and minister in that way, maybe you want to write letters or cards to other people. Pray and ask the Lord what you should write in each card. One of my friends, she used to do that a lot. She would, write letters. God would give her scriptures, and, she would just send them out to people. I've done it before too. I did it at a job before where I wrote different little cards to my coworkers and just gave them out. There's all kind of ways to do things. So, be creative. Use all those creative thoughts. Maybe you're a person that can draw and paint. Hey, maybe you paint a picture for your neighbor. Who knows? But however God uses you, however he wants to use you, pray that you're open to doing what he's asking you to do, stepping out of your comfort zone, however that looks. Be ready to listen. Be ready to pay attention to what he is saying, and seeking him in everything. This is a worship. This is not singing. This is actually a worship. This is part of worshiping the Lord. Doing what he says in this time. He knows exactly who you need to reach out to. Maybe it's only one person. It doesn't have to be 10 or 15 or 20 people. It could be just one person. One person can have a whole domino effect. You never know. By you reaching out to that one person, you save a whole entire household. And then another household, because they keep sharing. It's like giving a light to each house. We're in a dark time right now, but there is still hope. There is still joy. There is still something to rejoice about. We were singing today, rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to you, O Israel. He's here. Jesus has already come. He is the light, and he's giving you light. Will you use your light, or will you hide it? I pray that you will be hopeful and take care of yourself. If you're not able to quite jump out into that, maybe he just wants you to receive the light that he's given to you, just for you right now. And then maybe later on, you're going to be able to share that light. You can share the warmth that he's given you. You need some warmth, right? You need a little love, a little hug. Get in close. Here's a little hug. Here's a little hug, a little love, And just take that in and receive it. Receive the love, the peace, the joy that is just for you. Okay? And then if, you feel able to, and you're ready to, jump out there and do something else, sharing some more of that goodness that's been given to you, the kindness that has been shown to you, or maybe you just want to show kindness because you haven't had kindness, but you know what it feels like. Share it out with someone. We used to sing a song called Tell It Out, tell it out. So tell it out with someone else, and God bless you. Much love to all of you. Okay, take care.